Today we got a story of this Karen who ruins this kid's birthday party. It's just overall an absolute menace to society, as Karens are. Leave a like in the video, subscribe if you like stories, and let's call today's subscriber Jamie. So this all happened when Jamie was asked by his little brother to go to a birthday party that Jamie's little brother was invited to. And Jamie was kind of at an age where, his friends didn't really throw birthday parties anymore. And at the end of the day, it was an opportunity to go get some free cake, to go, yes, he was kind of just supervising his little brother, but I don't know, man, it was going to be kind of fun, I guess. And Jamie did owe his mom a favor. So he was like, yeah, man, of course I'll go with you. So anyways, right, Jamie and Jamie's little brother, drive over, because at this point, Jamie can drive. Jamie's 19 at this point, but his little brother's in second grade. So anyways, right, Jamie drives his little brother over, and, he goes over to the party, says hello to the parents of Jamie's little brother's friend. We're just going to call Ben, right? So Jamie's little brother has a friend who we're going to call Ben, and it's his birthday, and he's throwing a birthday party. So anyways, right, Jamie goes over to Ben's parents and says, hey, thank you so much for inviting my little brother and I, tell Ben congrats, tell Ben happy birthday. And then Jamie is holding the present that, Jamie's little brother and him picked out for Ben. He's like, hey, where should I put this? And Ben's parents were like, oh, thank you so much for coming. Ben is so excited that your little brother was able to make it, and I'm sure, we'll get to know you. You seem pretty cool or whatever. Yeah, you can just, hand us the present. So anyways, right, Jamie hands over the present, and, it's a pretty fun experience. I mean, not as much for Jamie, but, Jamie's little brother and Ben and all the other kids at the birthday party are having a fantastic time. And you know who was not having a fantastic time? Karen. So there was a mom of a kid who was also invited to the birthday party. We don't even have to give her a name because her name is Karen because she was a Karen. If you don't know, Karen is the name for moms with side part haircuts that are also going to be calling the manager on you. Oh, can I speak to the manager? Yeah, that's a Karen, bro. And Jamie immediately knew that this mom was a Karen because there were people that were catering this birthday party. Basically, right, Ben's parents had rented out, or not rented out, but had people went to a catering service, paid the money to come, and they were making the food, but they were also kind of prepping the food, handing it out, making sure things were running smoothly. And so anyways, right, Jamie was kind of over getting some food or whatever, maybe some, I don't know, pizza or something, right, some kind of food. And he hears the Karen say, ahem, waiter, ahem. Look, these are not waiters, these are just staff, but whatever, right? So the guy walks over who's catering the thing. He's like, yes, ma'am. And she's like, this food, I need to talk to the chef. And the dude's like, this stuff was pre-made. We make it back at the place. The chef isn't here who made this, but I guess I could tell him something. And the Karen's like, no, you are being paid to do what I say. I need to speak to the chef. And the guy's like, ma'am, please. No, but he's like, ma'am, I don't know what to say. The chef isn't here, but I can definitely, I don't know. I can bring back a good word. And she's like, you will not be bringing back any good words from me, young man. And he's like, okay, I can also bring back whatever you want me to tell him. And so Karen's like, yep, this food, it's a little disappointing. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say what everyone else is thinking. This food is a little disappointing. And Jamie's thinking to himself, dude, what are you talking about? This is frickin' pizza, bro. What did you expect? I don't know, a filet mignon, 5-star restaurant, beef Wellington type stuff. Dude, it's pizza, and to be honest, the pizza was apparently pretty good. So Karen was just mad that this wasn't gold-plated, toilet paper. What am I saying? The Karen was just mad that this wasn't some fancy food or whatever with gold leaf pizza and fig or something crazy like that goes for $2,000. And she was like, yeah, I need the chef to know this. And she's like, she turns to the waiter and she's like, I'm really disappointed that I wasn't able to talk to the chef. And do you guys have, a website? And the guy's like, yes, we do. And she's like, what is your website? And, he says, all right, this is the name of our business and this is our website. And she's like, oh, you guys are rated on Yelp? You should know that I'm a top Yelp reviewer. And because I'm so disappointed that I wasn't able to talk to your chef, I'm sorry, but I am going to give you a 1 star. And then she looks at the name tag of the guy. And she's like, I'm writing you up specifically. And the guy's like, okay. This is my part-time job I do over the summer. All right, ma'am, go ahead. So at this point, right, the Karen walks away all upset or whatever, and Jamie's just standing there like, dude, you cannot be serious. This woman's insane. You might be thinking, well, Connor, this must be the peak of the story. No, I'm not even kidding you. This was the tamest part of the story. Like, this is legitimately this action right here was Karen being the sanest she's ever been in this story. Just you freaking wait, dude. A real quick comment, Karen, down below if you want to heart on your comment. That'll be the secret word of the day. Also, let me know if you ever binge watching my videos. If you guys watch a bunch of my videos in one sitting, it like super boosts the channel, and I just want to say thank you if you do, and let me know. I'll try and say thank you back. There are playlists in the description that'll make that easier. But anyways, let's get to the good stuff. So fast forward to the part of the birthday party where Ben is sitting around opening up any presents that were given to him. So anyways, right, when Jamie handed the present over to Ben's mom, Ben's mom just put the present on a big table, and there was a big stack of presents on the table. So at one point, right, Ben's mom was like, all right, guys, it's time to open presents, and everyone, walks over, whatever. All the parents walk over too because they want to see the reactions. You know how it goes. And anyways, right, the presents were just on the table in a random order. There was no specific order to the order that, Ben was going to be opening these presents. You might be wondering why I'm specifying this. Oh, you shall see in a second. So anyways, right, Ben picks up one of the presents randomly and sits down. And the Karen goes, ahem. And Ben kind of looks up a little confused. And the Karen's like, why did you choose that present? And Ben's like, oh, it was just the first one I saw. And she's like, why do you not choose my son's present? And the whole room goes silent. And Ben is just like, oh, I just chose a random one. I can totally choose your son's first. I don't really care. And she's like, no, it's fine. It's just the whole principle that matter. Just, I don't know. I just my son and I we spent a long time trying to figure out what present would be best for you. And if I'm being honest, if I'm just being straight up here, if I'm being really honest, I think we put in more time than anyone else. I think we might have put in at least twice as much time as the next person who put in the most time. And just the fact that, we're being shunned and ridiculed by not being the first present to be opened, it's just a little disappointing to me, really. It's just giving off ungrateful vibes. And Jamie his jaw is on the ground. His jaw has detached from his skull and is on the ground. He's like, ma'am, what? He's just thinking to himself, you know what? I love my mom, but I appreciate her more than ever. Especially, I appreciate the fact that she is not this woman. Oh my God. And Ben is just like, what? And Ben's mom turns to Ben and says, Ben, you don't have to listen to her. Just open that present. And Ben's like, okay. So Ben opens up the present that he was originally had in his hand. And Ben goes through and starts opening up all the presents, eventually does get to the Karen son's present. And the Karen son is actually very nice, and it's unfortunate that his mom is like that. But anyways, right, eventually Ben opens up the Karen present, and the Karen kind of gives out a very loud sigh when he says thank you. And he kind of just like, oh, okay. So after the presents are being opened, they kind of have they sit down to cut the cake, and eventually, right, so they're all sitting down and the caterers are getting the cake prepared. So while they're sitting down, all the parents are sitting around or standing around. All the kids are sitting. The parents are kind of standing behind them. And, Jamie's sitting there and he hears the Karen trying to talk to the other parents. And the Karen is like, wow, I hate to say it. I hate to be the one who's saying exactly what everyone is thinking, but sometimes I'm just too truthful for everyone. But I'm sorry, but Ben has been acting really ungrateful. And the other moms are like, bruh, what are you even talking about? What? And she's like, you know what? And the Karen's like, I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. I just have, the balls, the woman balls, I guess. I just have the balls to say what everyone is thinking. And the truth is, if the truth has to be told, the truth has to be told, ma'am. I think Ben he's just being very spoiled right now. He's just very ungrateful. And all the other parents are like, man, what are you talking about? Like, he literally has been nothing but polite. He's literally he's acted really nicely to every single present, even if he didn't like the present. We're assuming we couldn't even tell because he was acting great. His parents set up a wonderful party. Like, what's going on? And things really started to get bad when Ben's mom was overhearing the Karen saying, I just have to say it, but Ben's acting, he's just giving me ungrateful vibes today. Like, at this point, right, Ben's mom was already pretty mad that the Karen was making a humongous deal out of nothing when Ben didn't randomly choose her present first. So Ben's mom walks over and she's like, hey, like, what is your problem with my son? So while Ben's mom is confronting the Karen, the caterers bring out the cake. And they're like, happy birthday to you. And while this is happening, right, Karen and Ben's mom start arguing with each other. And the thing is, it's kind of awkward because, like, Jamie can definitely hear them arguing, and everyone else at the party can hear them arguing, but all the parents and the rest of the kids are really just trying to, like, make this awkward situation less awkward. So all they do is they just kind of sing along. They just kind of sing louder. They're like, happy birthday, while the Karen and, like, the mom are arguing back and forth. And so the caterers, like, they put the cake down, and then they light the candles, and it's like 12 candles because, like, Ben is turning 12 or however old he is. I don't know. He's a little kid. I don't know how old he is, man. But by the time they're done singing happy birthday to Ben, Jamie hears that, like, the Karen and Ben's mom, their arguing is getting louder and louder. And by the end of the song, the Karen is screaming, your son is so ungrateful. He was, like, discriminating against me and my son because because he was. Like, he didn't pick our present first. We put all this time into it. That is giving me ungrateful energy. The aura of spoiled and entitledness is strong on your son. And Ben's mom is like, how dare you say that about my son? We've been nothing but great to you, and you've been nothing but complaining the whole time. Don't think that I didn't know about when you were threatening to, like, write up our caterer for, like, not bringing over the chef manager or whatever. Like, I know about that too. You've been nothing but terrible since here. And the Karen is like, you know what? Ben is ungrateful because you're a terrible mom. And with this, the Karen runs over. Dude, this is the goofiest thing. This is like one of the goofiest stories I've ever received, bro. I can hardly keep a straight face. By the way, submit these stories to my Instagram. I'm also thinking of starting up an email address for you guys to send these stories to, as a lot of you guys don't have Instagram to send these to. But anyways, right, the Karen is like, you know what? I hate you. It's like the episode from The Office, but she's like, you know what? Your son is spoiled, so are you, and he doesn't deserve this. And the Karen runs over to the cake and blows out all the candles. And Ben's mom is like, why did you do that? And she's like, to teach him a lesson to be less spoiled and entitled. And Jamie and his little brother are just sitting there, just totally aghast, like, what is our life? What is going on before me? This is literally the craziest thing I've ever seen. Are you serious, right? And the Karen and Ben's mom get, like, Ben's mom is like, are you serious? Like, you're such a baby. You blew out my son's candles because you're calling him spoiled and entitled, when the truth is, you're just being a massive Karen. And she's like, I'm being a what? I'm not being a Karen. Yeah, okay, she was. But, like, she's like, I'm not being a Karen. Your son's entitled and spoiled, and he doesn't even, the whole time, right? Ben is just sitting there, just, like, kind of on the verge of tears, bro. I legit feel bad for Ben. But she's like, your son is so spoiled, it doesn't deserve this cake. And then the Karen goes over to the table and just side swipes the cake off of the table. Just takes her big meaty palm, lands it on the table, and then just, like, slides everything off the table, including the cake. The cake goes flying onto the ground, splatters everywhere. There was, like, some dishes and utensils on there too. Those fly everywhere. There was, like, a bowl on the table that falls on the ground, hits the side of something and breaks. It's a huge disaster. It's a huge scene. And remember, this is all over the Karen literally just getting mad because, Ben didn't randomly pick her son's present first. Are you serious, bro? So this point, right, Ben's mom kind of loses her composure, and she's like, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight this out? And the Karen's like, bring it on. So all of a sudden, right, all these parents rush over and they like hold back Ben's. Dude, this is the funniest scene ever. They hold back Ben's mom and then they hold back the Karen. The Karen's like, "You're so lucky that they're holding me back. You don't know like 10% of my power. You don't know 5% of my power, and you simply couldn't take 1% of my power. You're a lucky woman that they're holding me back." And Ben's mom was like, "You're lucky that they're holding me back." To be fair, as crazy as the Karen was getting, Ben's mom should not have tried to fight her, like just in general. A pretty bad look. But anyways, right, the Karen whips out her phone and calls up her husband. And she's like, "You need to get over here this instant." So sure enough, right, give it some time. The whole birthday party is completely ruined at this point, as Ben's mom and the Karen are like being held back consistently from squaring off. So this guy rolls up and he kind of like comes up and he like walks in with these like aviator sunglasses and these cargo shorts and like flip-flops exposing his crusty toes, bro. And he's walking up, he's like, "Hey, who's like coming for my wife? I'm coming in to defend her because I'm a big, strong man," or whatever, right? And Karen's like, "This woman and her spoiled son, they're so spoiled." And so Karen's husband comes up and says, "Hey," like goes up, literally walks up to Ben and says, "Hey, like you got to understand a thing or two about respect. When I was your age, my grandfather and my father would teach me respect. And this generation knows nothing about respect. Is that right, honey?" And the Karen's like, "Yeah, he's so spoiled." And the husband's like, "Yes. So what did he exactly do again, honey?" And the Karen's like, "You won't even believe this. You know that present that our son and I spent so long, painstaking hours picking out, and all the money we spent on it. Oh my God, so much time. You see this kid over here? He didn't pick us first." And the husband's like, "Yeah, wait, what?" And the Karen's like, "Yeah, can you believe it?" And the husband's like, wait, is that why he was being quote unquote disrespectful? The Karen's like, "Yes. Are you in shock because of how terrible it is?" The husband's like, "Yo, wait, what?" You got in a fight and destroyed his cake? Because he looks over at the destroyed cake and kind of just assumed it was her, because maybe she'd had a few episodes before because you didn't pick your present for. Was it like intentional or was it random? And she's like, "I don't know. He was being disrespectful. He was just being disrespectful." The husband's like, honey?" And the Karen's like, "Yes. I think we should go home." She's like, No, we will not lose this battle. We're definitely getting divorced if you don't back me up here." And he's like, "Honey, you say that every single time." She's like, "Brr." So Jamie and his little brother have been sitting just watching the whole thing go down. And sure enough, right, the husband of the Karen walks up to Ben's mom and is like, "Look, I'm so sorry. When she called me on the phone, she said that like your son was being incredibly disrespectful and that you were like, I don't know, taunting her and insulting her and all of this. I'm just like, I want to stand up for my wife, but she is obviously in the wrong here if what she is telling me is the truth, which I don't know why she would lie to make her situation seem worse than it is. Like, I don't know why she'd try and make herself seem like, I don't know, even more terrible than she needs to be. So I definitely believe like that, like my wife's in the wrong here." And he's trying to keep it down because look, he has to go back with this woman and live with her. So he's not trying to have like a terrible life. He's not trying to have a real tough night, if you know what I mean. So he's trying to keep his voice down. He's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry if I need to like pay for some of the damages. Like, I do pretty well at my job. Whatever it needs to be is what it needs to be." And Ben's mom, who's completely calmed down and probably a little bit embarrassed that she tried to fight this woman in the first place, is like, "You know what? Like, I appreciate you for being so like grown up and respectful here. I'm sorry that I even like lost my temper a little bit. I think it would just be best if you took, Karen and her son away and we're just going to try and finish off this birthday party." And the Karen's husband's like, "Yes, I totally understand." So Karen's husband walks up to the Karen and says, "Oh, I totally told her off. Like, we totally won." And Karen's like, "Yeah," turns to Ben's mom, "Yeah, take that. oh, and, Ben's mom is like, aha, yeah, your husband totally owned me, because Karen didn't hear him say, I'm sorry, my wife's insane. So anyways, right, Karen's husband and her son, they walk away, and all that is left is the rest of the people at the birthday party, and they have a little bit of a normal birthday party, but I don't know how normal your birthday party can be after that, I'm just saying. So when Jamie and Jamie's little brother are, they're driving back, and Jamie's little brother's in the back seat, and Jamie's little brother said, "What happened today?" Jamie takes a long pause and says, "You know what? I don't know what happened today. Just, be grateful for our mom. Be grateful that our mom is nothing like that woman. Because, that's the actual mom of one of your classmates, little brother, little bro. Like, that's an actual mom. Like, if we were unlucky in the genetic lottery, that could have been our mom, man."